Managing cattle on the hill is more than just turning them out at the right time of year. To get the best out of them, we have to consider their diet and how they utilise the hill. Our aim should be to distribute grazing across the site, but focus in on the tall Millennia grass and keep animals away from sensitive areas like watercourses, stands of heather and deep peat. The hen harrier feed blocks have two purposes. First, they are designed to address nutritional deficiencies. Second, they can help the farmer influence animal behaviour. Millennia and other hill grasses are low in protein, and this gets worse later in the summer. The feed blocks will help compensate for this. A diet of Millennia is also low in calcium, phosphorus and vitamins. The hen harrier feed blocks will boost the supply of these nutrients and will also provide nitrogen and vitamin D, which help the animal absorb minerals and get more value from its diet. Introduce animals to the feed blocks on enclosed land before they go to the hill. If you notice that some animals are not using the blocks, they should not be allowed to stay on the hill for more than a few weeks and should be taken off by the end of July. Feed blocks can also be used to influence animal behaviour. They can be used to attract animals into undergrazed areas. We want animals to move around the site, so the feed blocks should be moved every day or two. You don't have to move them very far. 10 to 30 metres each time is plenty. Don't place feed blocks near water. The cattle will travel to drink anyway. Don't place them near the entrance, as this may discourage animals from using the full site. Don't place feed blocks near stands of heather or on very soft bog, as drawing cattle in may damage these habitats. Move the blocks across the slope, not up or down. By doing this, you can help create a band of short vegetation that can act as a fuel break in the event of a fire. Eating the fuel is the best way to reduce wildfire risk. Keep an eye on the vegetation. Self-sown conifers are a big problem. Over time they will change the habitat, but even a single tree can be a lookout post for hooded crows searching for meadow pipit nests. Seedlings can be easily pulled out. Larger plants can be cut. The best way to solve the problem, every time you pass one, cut it down. We want animals to move around the site, so look at barriers to movement and how you can address them. Is there anything that is restricting how your cattle can graze the site? Even dry cows are thirsty animals, so look at the availability of water. Areas more than 300 metres from water are likely to be undergrazed by cattle. Can you provide additional sources? Drawing in water is not sustainable, so consider the potential for a pipe supply. Gravity fed if possible, but a main supply, a solar powered pump, a pasture pump, or even rainwater harvesting are worth considering. Animals will congregate at water troughs, so be careful where you place them. Stay clear of archaeological sites, drains, stands of heather, deep peat, very soft ground or watercourses. Is redundant fencing causing damage by channeling animals through a narrow gap? Removing it could solve the problem. Are there hazards for livestock? You can use temporary fences to keep animals out of dangerous areas, and this can facilitate grazing on the rest of the site. Solar-powered electric fencing can give you another tool to direct grazing where you want it. A good solar-powered fence can be as strong as one powered from the mains. It won't run down it like a battery-powered fence, and you don't need to carry heavy batteries across the hill. No consents or permissions are needed for temporary fences on designated lands. However, temporary fences are vulnerable to damage by deer, so they will have to be checked regularly. They are not suitable for stock-proofing external boundaries. Are there impassable streams, perhaps with steep or very soft banks? Could a culvert open up new areas by allowing cattle to cross these obstacles? Remember, a culvert could become a choke point where the passage of animals causes serious damage. To prevent this, consider how you can control access at this point. Paths and roadways can make access to a large site a lot easier, but they have the potential to cause serious problems. They can act as drains and take water out of the bog, causing it to dry out. The loss of water will stop carbon sequestration and increase the risk of wildfires. A dry bog is a dying bog. The rapid runoff of water will also alter the flow of upland streams. A torrent after heavy rain, dried up after a few days of good weather. To hold on to water, discharge it onto land at regular intervals, never directly into a watercourse. New roads and bogs should be avoided, and the impact of existing roads mitigated wherever possible. Do not let water run on the road for any distance. It will scour out and destroy the surface. If the road slopes to the side, the water can be diverted to run in a roadside drain. Roadside drains will also collect water running off the land. This will have to be piped under the road to the downslope side to allow it to be safely discharged. With all culverts, make sure the pipes are big enough to accommodate the expected flow of water. There should be a turnout at least every 150 metres on flat ground, even closer on a slope. Do not discharge runoff into a watercourse. It is much better to divert the water onto vegetated ground at regular intervals. This will keep the volume at each discharge point to a minimum. Tracks that run straight up the hill are the greatest risk, as it is very hard to divert the water back into the bog. Tracks that zigzag across the slope, the way animals would walk, are much better. The slope is gentler, easier to climb, and surface water can be easily discharged. Good management of hill grazing can deliver for conservation and for the farm. It can secure direct payments and support livestock. It can earn payments for the delivery of habitat from the Hen Harrier project. It does require effort and perhaps investment, but on most farms in the Hen Harrier special protection areas, the hill accounts for the largest area. The habitats in the hill provide the best nest sites and are the most important hunting grounds for hen harriers. It is where most of the payments come from, and it is potentially the most profitable part of the farm. It is in everyone's interest that they continue to deliver.